Here's the sign to check up on your motivated or your accomplished friend, a friend that seems like they always got something going on. They're always achieving new goals, because that person is probably over analytical of themselves. They're always seeing what they need to be doing better. They're always seeing their faults. And while you may see all of their amazing accomplishments, they're constantly replaying the one fault they have, the one thing they need to get better. A lot of people look at me as that guy. Like, Jamar, you doing all this, doing this? And sometimes I'm like, for real? Like, I'm so caught up in like, man, I got to do this better. I got to do that better. And I can find myself even on a day where maybe I've had one of the biggest accomplishments I've ever had, being very sad at the end of the day. Not because I'm not doing what I want to do or I'm meant to do, but because I'm so motivated to become a better version of myself. I'm so overly focused on like my faults, and it's a good thing, but it's also a curse and a blessing. And so I want you to know that friend is out there struggling at times. They're researching everything. They're seeing what other people have. They're almost comparing themselves too much. And it can be good in some ways to compare so you can see where you can get better, but sometimes it becomes toxic, which is often for a lot of us. And I think that friend needs somebody to check up on them, because oftentimes that friend isn't somebody that you check up on. In fact, they're the one that checks up on you. They're the friend that's always there for you. But the friend that's always the resource sometimes needs the help that they keep giving out. Sometimes they can give the advice to people, but they can't give the advice to themselves because they can't see it from that perspective. They're really good at giving it, but in that same scenario that you're in, they can't tell themselves that because they're so caught up in everything. And so I just really want to encourage you to understand, and maybe you are that person, to ask for help. You know what I mean? To seek out your support system, to understand also that you're never going to be perfect. So don't expect it, embrace it. And this is me saying as somebody who's had a really good day, but I'm finding the one thing I didn't. And I also haven't eaten in a while, so I'm a little like, moody. So I'm going to Chipotle right now. But like, just check up on that friend, or at least just give this video a chance to really get in your mind and understand that friend that seems like everything's okay all the time. It seems like they're always making jokes. It's always motivated, all that stuff. They're the one that needs to be checked up the most oftentimes. So like, comment, subscribe. Hope this made value. I know it's a lot of noise. See you on the next one. Peace.